Week number 6 of the high school season. Jason, where did this season go? It felt like just, yesterday we were up here talking about the opening games, and here we are on the home stretch. This season's flying by, but hey, what better way to head past the halfway point than last Friday night? One of the best games I've ever seen.
Like I said with Matt on the podcast this week, it's probably top 5 for me for sure. It's never always going to be pretty tough. That Appleton-Parkersburg game we kind of talked about. You interviewed some of the guys from the 92 state championship team. That's one of the best games I've ever seen. But this game, man, the ebb and flow of high school sports and emotion was on display.
Yeah, and you look, they score second play from scrimmage, and then we start to come back. We take a 2-touchdown lead with the ball to start the second half. We get held to a field goal. All of a sudden, they get a couple big plays, score 21 unanswered. We come back and score. It literally back and forth, and little things throughout both ways that went well, went not so well. Came down to it that the Bears had a couple of key defensive plays down the stretch. I think Evan O'Neill in the end zone knocked one away, and then, of course, Ben Thompson at the very end with that interception. It was literally last man standing at that point, and luckily for us, the Bears came out on top.
Right. Both teams had a 21-point unanswered run. Bears got down 7-0, then got up 21-7. Bellevue got down 31-13, got back 34-31. Then you started talking about trading punches in a boxing match, a last man standing, and gets the decision. Ben Thompson's interception at the goal line gets in great position. Physical off the line, gets a great position, intercepts it. One victory quarterback sneak later, and it's 45-41. The Bears are tied for the district lead, 3-0, but basically are in the driver's seat. If they win out, they win the district. But Week 6 first.
Week 6 first, and we're focusing so far on Durant, and this is a team. You come in and you think, okay, Durant. They've only won 1, 2, 3 games the last several years. Okay, are they really going to be much challenge? They're 2-3 this year, but you know what? Look at who they've lost to. They've lost to Wilton, who's top 10. They've lost to Bellevue, who was top 10. They've lost to Mac Valley, who is kind of borderline top 10. And, they've played a really tough schedule. They've been in those games as well. It's not like they've been just blown out of the water. So, if people think we're going to just walk down to Durant tonight and be able to just show up and win, that's not going to be the case.
You go 41 points in one game. You go 48 points in another game. They lose 24-14 to Wilton, as you mentioned. Or was it it was by 10. 20-7, it's right there.
Yeah.
It's not like many points were scored. Bellevue 42-12 was a little bit of a discouragement as far as the deficit, but Durant's putting up a lot more points than they have in years past. They've got a lot. Seems like their weapons are coming from different directions. Bryce LaFrenz at quarterback is at 600 yards, averaging. He's completing about 56% of his passes. Tristan Hughes, the running back, is around 400 yards rushing. Mason, straight out of Compton, is their wide receiver. Number 5 is a third-year starter as a junior.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of varsity experience. They've got a lot of confidence coming off of the score is a little deceiving, 48-21 last week against North Cedar, but the Wildcats were ahead, I think, 42-0 in that when I saw it one time at Twitter, and I think probably there were some substitutions going on and maybe scored late. But they dominated that game, and this is their homecoming, I believe. I don't know if it is for sure. It seems like it would be, Stephen, Week 6. But I do know this. They've got a lot to play for. It's the Cedar County Cup.
Yeah.
The mythical Cedar County Championship starts this week.
It does.
So West Branch has the next 3 games against Cedar County teams. First one down there. But I think the big story is, will Jerry Flagel say this is the best food of District 3 outside of West Branch? Because as Matt Chenander will tell you, their nachos and other things are second to none at Durant.
Well, and you look, they're not afraid. They've got some big boys on this squad. Their offensive line's all 220, 230 or above. They've got 250-pound fullback Cale Frett. And,
wow.
Not only that, but it's kind of fun when you're watching some film on these guys. There's times where you've got that throwback. It's just double tight, power look. You're just going to run smash mouth football. And you're like, wow, they're just going old school. And then all of a sudden the next play, you've got 5 wide, oop-de-oop from Varsity Blues, something crazy like that. They're really they keep teams off balance with how versatile they can be.
Yeah, it's tough. These coaches have a lot of experience, and I'm sure they've got a game plan set up. But on the other hand, it's tough. One play, you're ready. Okay, we're just going to stay base here. We can stay base, fill our gaps, make sure you get on the outside, and you can stop sometimes that double wing if it's coming right at you. You probably like that more than the next play when they go to the oop-de-oop 5 wide or 4 wide, bringing motion to throw out a pass to the flat, or 4 wide, 4-1. You got single coverage on Mason Compton, and he's a pretty strong receiver. So the Bears are going to need to be on their toes. You can't go down there and think this is. I'm saying this with the utmost respect, Stephen, is the last couple of years the Bears have had their way with Durant. So this isn't that old adage of this isn't your grandmother's Durant team.
Although if you remember 2 years ago when we were down there, it was a dogfight through the first half.
It was, and the Bears ended up winning 55-14, I think was the final in the end. And then 5 years ago, the white jerseys were on, and it was 28-20. So this is a team that the Bears have struggled with early on in a lot of these games, but have had their way in the second half. They need to put something together for a full game. You don't want to give a home team confidence, specifically when if Durant loses this game, they are pretty much out of playoff contention. So they're still fighting for their lives in the playoffs, and they want to knock West Branch off, would give them a big confidence boost.
Well, JV game will be on Monday night again this week, so we'll have the Bearcast coverage. Starts at 6:30, kickoff at 7 o'clock down at Durant, and we'll have all the coverage for you right here, westbranchfootball.com.